My friends, can I tell you a story?
If you don't think there's hope for the world, why bother going on?
We go forward because we know that freedom is ahead.
Why can't this get out there? Why can't this be public?
This is affecting somebody's life right now. Like, this is really gonna affect his life.
We know some things, being old.
What Judy did was show that this is nothing to be ashamed. Like, this is something to be celebrated.
We believe we have reason to ask you a series of questions.
I became a teacher to make sure students come out alive.
I'm gonna drop you right in the middle of the action. Engage.
They ain't seen nothing yet.
Don't do it. Don't ruin this moment, please.
You cannot have American liberty and an IRS Gestapo.
Sadly, stories like this existed all throughout the United States.
They opened the door of the hospital. It's going to be me.
The Palestinians elected Hamas people, Hamas fighters, Hamas terrorists. If you think that makes them all complicit, boy, do I have bad news for you about decades of US foreign policy.
We support the civic witnesses to fortify the truth.
My city is shelled every damn day. I'll continue to draw as long as I'm fucking alive.
How are you that psychic?
Because this happens every day, Barb. This is literally feels like reality TV.
I'm afraid.
I'm throwing the party of all parties at my place.
Wow, you've done it.
It's good to beat it, King.
Please welcome the host of the 84th Peabody Awards, Oscar and Emmy-nominated producer, writer, comedian, and actor, Kumail Nanjiani.
Hi. Hi. Welcome to the Peabody Awards, everyone. I am genuinely so excited to be here hosting it. My name is Kumail Nanjiani. Thank you. I genuinely am really excited to be here for this awards show. The Peabody Awards are all about celebrating people who care. Creators and storytellers, that's right, people who care. Storytellers who use their work to promote empathy, humanity, education, and justice. The Peabody Awards recognize stories that matter, and I'm really excited, genuinely excited to be here because you guys really make stuff that makes the world a better place. We really need that right now in this divided moment. We really do. So yes, give yourselves a round of applause. Speaking of divided moments, I just want to mention this really quickly, just so you know where my headspace is. There is a Cricket World Cup going on right now. What? Who's in this crowd? Why do you know? What are you talking about? I just want to say that recently my country, Pakistan, lost to USA. You just found out right now that you have a cricket team. You don't even know. Why are you clapping? But it's devastating. I want to say this with a completely sober mind. It's the worst thing that's ever happened to me. So I'm only here like 50% emotionally. To give you some perspective, it would be like Pakistan beating USA at basketball. That's what this is like. So this is what I'm powering through right now. I'm a goddamn hero for showing up, standing in front of you. That's right. We also lost to India today, but I have no more tears to give. Just wanted you to know the entire time that's in here. You guys just found out you have a cricket team and you're already beating someone. It's so important to me. This is the first time we've had the Peabody Awards in person since 2019. That's right. since 2019. The last few years, the awards were held over Zoom, and it was the host's job to introduce the winners and say, "You're on mute. Your mic is off. No, it's still off. Now your camera is off. Okay, now turn it off. We can see you're wearing no pants." This is also, this is true, the first Peabody ceremony ever held in Los Angeles. It is, yeah. Finally, Los Angeles gets an awards show. Finally. We did it. Screw you, New York. Our weather is better, too. Except we have this thing called June gloom, which defies all science and logic. You will get some sunshine between 3:30 and 5 p.m. The rest of the time, it's like March in Newark. This year, we are honoring all forms of media, news stories, documentary films, TV shows, podcasts, video games, and even Instagram stories. Yeah, that's right. While most of us were scrolling Instagram to dissociate, Khalil Green and Ariel Vieira were using it to showcase. That's right. They used Instagram to showcase the hidden history of racism in New York City. That racism is another reason we moved this event to Los Angeles, a city that has never been racist. Don't Google that. Trust me. Everything's perfect here. We are giving awards to entertaining programs like The Last of Us. Yeah. But we're also giving awards to news stories like Hate Comes to Main Street, which is about far-right extremism. So tonight we're giving awards to the zombie apocalypse and the actual apocalypse. Weird that you guys clapped for far-right extremism. You guys know cricket? What is the vibe? I also want to shout out the makers of the video game Pentiment. Who's here that's from Pentiment? Who made Pentiment? You guys, where are, oh, you're back there? Oh, wow, you got terrible seats. Oh my God, you should have made a documentary or something. You'd be up here. Literally the worst seats in the house. There's one table behind you, and I think that's the caterer, making sure everyone's getting food. Sorry, you guys are back there. You probably see my mouth moving, and then a few seconds later, you hear the words. Sound travels slower than light. I want to say I genuinely really love your video game. I've played your video game. I'm a big gamer, and I like that, you know, video games, yes, can tackle amazing things. They're not just like shooty things that most people think they are. This video game, Pentiment, is a game where you, this is true, you play an artist who has to solve a murder in a small town in Germany in the 1500s. It explores themes of faith, belief, regret, ritual, and the very nature of truth. Also, you can pet cats. Yeah. So parents who think video games will make your kids violent, you should know that video games can also turn your kids into artists, which is, no, I think, okay, you'll be paying their rent forever. The Peabodys are all about inclusivity. This room is so diverse, we have token white people. And we're gonna make them explain white stuff to us, okay? We have questions. Like, what is the deal with Panera Bread? Do you guys actually like it, or is that like a big prank on us? And why are there so many types of IPAs? If you go to the beach, do you immediately get cancer? And is hummus just your thing now? You guys just, did you just steal that? Like you stole rock and roll? Hummus? You know, growing up, I never saw myself reflected on screen in American media. I didn't, at least not as the good guy. My face was the face of the bad guy in a lot of movies. It was. And I remember going, Mom, Dad, why does Arnold Schwarzenegger want to kill us? The only good brown guy I saw in Hollywood was Fisher Stevens in Short Circuit. That's a white man in brown face. Hollywood was more culturally sensitive to robots than it was to brown people. But I want to say to his credit, He has expressed regret, and that's commendable. But it's not about him. I mean, it's not his fault. That's what the system was. It was a different time back then, you know? But thanks in large part to creators like you, today I can turn on the TV and see myself reflected on screen with my exact experiences, struggles, and dreams. Of course, I'm talking about Bluey. Bluey! Are you guys Bluey? You're the Bluey people. Oh my God. You've made me cry more than anything else here. I'll tell you what, I watched the cricket episode of Bluey over and over. It's so beautiful. If you guys don't know, there's an episode about a little dog named Rusty who through trial, error, and perseverance learns to become a better cricket player. And it's an episode I want to show the Pakistan cricket team. It was close. It wasn't close. They fought hard. They did not fight hard. I will never get over this. The Big Sick 2 is going to be about this. As I look around the room, I see so many incredible honorees here tonight, so many storytellers who remind us of our shared humanity, people who inspire us to be better, to do better, and to never stop questioning the world around us. One of the winners tonight is Quinta Brunson, creator of Abbott Elementary. That's right. I love this show. I love this show so much. I think every single person loves this show. I think the demo for this show is humans. Do you know how hard that is to do? So tonight, Quinta is a Peabody Trailblazer Award winner, but she should be receiving a Peabody for making the show that gives you something to talk about with your relatives instead of the upcoming election. Until they ask if they teach critical race theory at Abbott, and then stuff goes south. I don't know if you guys, I don't know if there's a lot of journalists in here. I don't know if you've checked the news recently, but there is an election coming up. And I, for one, hardly anyone's talking about it. I wish more would. I'm really excited about it. I can't get enough. Give me more. Give me. You know why? Because I love world-ending stakes in my entertainment and in my day-to-day life. This is all I want from an election, by the way. This is all I want from an election. All I want two candidates. I want to like one way more than I like the other. But no matter which one wins, there should be a 0 chance I end up in a concentration camp. Is that too much to ask for, America? You beat us at cricket and now this? A genuine comedy legend who has entertained people for over 7 decades is also here tonight. The great Mel Brooks is here. Yeah. Mr. Brooks has won Emmys, Grammys, Oscars, and Tonys, and after tonight's Peabody, he fulfills his lifelong dream of becoming a peagot. I don't have anything to say. I just am a huge fan of his work, and I have peagot envy. I want to thank you all for coming out tonight to this. Tonight is about celebrating you, seriously. You're the ones who have the courage to speak truth to power. You guys are changing lives, all with creativity and integrity. You are all incredible, and you deserve all of this recognition. Okay, so give yourselves a round of applause. Truly, truly an honor to be here in front of you. All right, let's get to it. To present our first awards, she won a Peabody for creating and starring in the series Better Things. Yeah, she just directed her first feature film, Babes. Here is Pamela Adlon.
Hello. Hi. I just saw LeVar Burton, so I need a second. It is my honor to present the first Peabody Award of the night. This honoree inhabits a world that I am familiar with, which shows that a midlife crisis, no matter how dark, can be enriching, incredibly funny, and filled with love. on this HBO series, the multi-talented and scrumptious Bridget Everett plays Sam, who is struggling to find her footing after the devastating loss of her sister. Through new friendships and rediscovering her dormant passions, she realizes that it's never too late to find your true path, or even a new path. Sam's story, based on events from Everett's own life, gives us a reason to think that no matter how scary life gets, things shake out, and we adapt and grow stronger and better. And shows like this help us find the way. Winning a Peabody tonight, this is Somebody Somewhere.
I think Brad's a really nice guy, Joel. And I really am happy for you. I am.
Thank you. Why'd you shave your legs?
Because I'm gonna fuck my neighbor.
The drug dealer?
First I open my heart to you, and then I open my legs to him. I guess that seems like the logical progression, so we'll see, but I don't have no promises.
Accepting on behalf of Somebody Somewhere, here is Bridget Everett.
Thank you very much. We are so excited to be receiving a Peabody Award tonight. And I don't know about Paul, Hannah, and Carolyn, but I will be introducing myself as Peabody Award winner Bridget Everett until the day I die. We all feel so incredibly lucky to make a show like Somebody Somewhere, especially in a world where there's so much noise and competition for attention. I've often wondered that, making a show about the quiet moments in ordinary lives, if that's enough. And we want to thank the Peabodys for making us feel like it is. So thank you to our dedicated Somebody Somewhere family who we love so much, to HBO, Casey Bloys, Bronwyn Carter, and especially Amy Gravitt, our girl right there. And I guess just to wrap it up, in the wise words of LL Cool J, DDHD, dreams don't have deadlines, and this is definitely a dreams don't have deadlines moment. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for recognizing us. Woo!
For the next award, I imagine the creator thinking, what can I make a TV show about? I don't want to work too hard. What would be a piece of cake to sell? What subject? Yeah, women's sexual and reproductive health. Yes. That seems so easy. So our next winner dove right in there. This is a critically acclaimed psychological thriller about a phenomenon one doesn't come across every day: twin gynecologists. Beverly and Elliot Mantle, both played here by the brilliant Rachel Weisz, push the boundaries of medical ethics. This latest adaptation of the 1977 novel Twins by Barry Wood and Jack Giesland, and the 1988 David Cronenberg film explores themes of identity, ambition, and the dark side of medicine. Not only is it an edge of your seat, you can't look away from it nail biter. I swear to God, it also cleverly doubles as an urgent call to action to improve maternal health care everywhere. And also, yeah, that's the serious part, make sure your gynecologist doesn't have an identical twin. This is the 2024 Peabody winner, Dead Ringers.
Despite the fact that this is how every single one of us enters the world, despite the fact that women have been giving birth for as long as humankind has existed, this is the best that we have come up with. It's a system that bullies and scares and terrorizes and humiliates and rushes and ruins women and their bodies. And I wish our proposal were more thrilling for you. But that's not how it works. That's not what real change for real human women actually fucking looks like, because we are fucking brilliant, okay?
Yes. Accepting on behalf of Dead Ringers is creator, writer, and executive producer Alice Birch.
Thank you so much. This is such a huge honor, and we're so grateful. Thank you to all of our producers, to Anna Perner and Morgan Creek, Anne Carey, Erica Kay, Ali Krug, Sue Neagle, Stacey O'Neill, and Jen Salke, and everyone at Prime Video. Huge thanks to all of our cast and crew who worked so hard during a pandemic. To Sean Durkin for your vision and your collaboration, to our families and our children who are so supportive. And I just want to thank my friend, the greatest collaborator, cheerleader, advocate, and who gives 2 extraordinary performances in this. We miss her this evening, and we love you, Rachel Weisz. Thank you.
This year's Trailblazer Award is another previous Peabody winner. You know him from Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Atlanta, Community, and both of the Star Wars and Spider-Man universes. He's also the Grammy-winning performer Childish Gambino. Yeah. He's so good at so many things, it's infuriating. Please welcome Donald Glover.
How's it going, guys? I just came from a yacht. As everyone's learned in grade school, the term trailblazer was coined by Methuselah J. Hawkins, probably the most famous arsonist this country has ever produced. Heading west with his family, an 11-year-old Methuselah would say, "Daddy, why is it so dark?" And his father would say, "Because it's nighttime." And Methuselah would say, "Not for long." And his dad would say, "What?" But by that point, it was too late. The Great Plains were on fire, giving light to his family to follow. This amount of sheer will to bring daylight into the night by setting things on fire, some would call disturbing behavior for a child. But not America. No. We see it for what it truly is. Methuselah Trailblazer Hawkins lives in some of you out there. And 23andMe will find you and bring you to justice. But back to trailblazing. A true trailblazer is a visionary who challenges the status quo and inspires change. And I'm here tonight because no one fits that description more than my brilliant, very famous, and so busy won't answer my text as much anymore, friend Quinta Brunson. As the creator and showrunner and star of the groundbreaking series Abbott Elementary, Quinta has done more than just create a hit show, which is, trust me, nearly impossible to do. She uses comedy to highlight the real and everyday struggles of, underfunded public schools. Through smart, funny writing, she brings attention to critical issues that need our focus. And her list of accomplishments is insane. She was named one of the Time Magazine's 100 most influential people. She's been dubbed the new queen of sitcoms by New York Magazine. She's made history as the first Black woman to receive 3 Emmy nominations and the second to win for outstanding writing in a comedy series. She's won Golden Globes, SAG Awards. Quinta even played Oprah in Weird Al Yankovic's story alongside Daniel Radcliffe and Oprah, Weird Al, and Harry Potter. If you're under 30, you don't know what I just said, which is fine. They're very important people. Quinta, please stop being so amazing, beautiful, and talented. This is not my first time I've presented you with an award, and I know it won't be the last, but when I put this suit on, my son said, "Are you going to give Quinta Brunson another award?" I said, "No." He knew I was lying. He only sees me after award season. Quinta, your work on Abbott Elementary reflects everything the Peabody Awards is about, stories that matter. You're not just changing the face of television through honest storytelling, you're opening doors for the next generation of auteurs who has an idea that seems maybe a little more impossible than most. She is paving the way for more diverse voices and stories in television, and that is why Quinta Brunson is a true trailblazer.
I'm Janine Teagues, damn it. I don't wait for anything. Except when it's polite. That's just courtesy.
Why are you breathing so hard?
I'm excited.
It's weird. You should get that checked out.
Okay.
So call me Jesus Christ, Son of God.
Some call him broken corny.
Hey, watch it now.
Okay, everyone, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, except for Andrew, who is taking a principled stand against nationalism. Yes. Oh, and when I come up in the place and you feel it with the bass, everybody's in your face like, where's the mace? Does nobody knows this? Nobody knows this song?
No, I know, I'm sorry.
So good, so good. You got it. I love you guys, but this is some white people music. It's a black lady courtroom.
Black lady courtroom. Black lady courtroom.
We all love each other, like one big happy family.
Ugh, what are you talking about?
I've seen it firsthand, what teachers go through from day to day. All right, guys, so there have been 3 presidents since this one, okay? It's an old book. So here's where I taped in the others. I just knew that if we started in a real place with the state of where we are right now,
You're all moving on up.
that's the best way to start a comedy. I am throwing the party of all parties. Everybody's invited, except for the students and most of the teachers. I don't care if you think I'm good at this or not anymore. I care about whether or not I can make a change.
Abbott Elementary, dropping off 10,000 needed items to help teachers at schools across the country.
We all know that this isn't just some school. It's special.
Now it is my honor to give this Trailblazer Award to my friend, Quinta Brunson.
Thank you. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Thank you, guys. Oh, here. Hi, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Now you gotta stand for everybody, you know. Mel Brooks comes out here, you better be jumping into the sky. First of all, thank you, Donald. When they told me I was getting this award, they were like, who do you want to present it to you? And I wrote down a couple names, because I don't know, people are busy. And when I got here, I turned to Jamie, my PR, and I said, who's presenting this to me? And Donald walked in, and I was like, oh, I guess Donald's getting an award too. But he actually did come, and I love you and I appreciate you. You might be one of the only people I know that's just as busy as me, but makes time for your friends, and I really appreciate that. Thank you. Love you. I would love to first say thank you to the Peabody Awards, because either 1 or 2 years ago, and it was either the strike or COVID lockdown, there was a Peabody Awards. There was no ceremony, but that happened. And my show, Abbott Elementary, won a Peabody, and I was sad because I never got to say thank you for that. So I'm gonna take this opportunity to say thank you now for that award in somewhere between 2020 and 2024. Thank you. It is all a blur. Someone told me it's June 9th. I want to say thank you for this one. Words cannot express what an honor it is when I do things and make television and write anything. I am not thinking of awards. I am barely thinking about the awards that you get for TV, like Emmys and things of that nature, but I'm definitely never thinking that I'm going to get a Peabody Award. This is a dream come true. It makes me believe even harder in the work that I've gotten to do. Abbott Elementary was intended to just bring people together. It's a comedy. I wanted to bring, if nobody else, me, my mom, and my niece together. We could not find one show to watch with each other. I wanted to watch Atlanta. My mom would have thrown the TV out of the window if she saw the things that were happening on that show. She wanted to watch a show called The Real McCoys for the millionth time. It's an old black and white show. And my niece was interested in watching TikTok videos. And I wanted to make something that would bring my house together because I couldn't find it on television. And I found that in creating Abbott. All of the things that came after making that show surprised even me. When ABC told us that we were going to be able to use our marketing budget to actually bring supplies to Philadelphia public schools, I was over the moon. I continue to be grateful to our ABC family, some of them in the room right now, for supporting Abbott, not only our vision, not only my work and my voice, but the things we'd like to do to help the place where I'm from, Philadelphia. This year even, we're going to be putting some new murals in the city, which that might not mean a lot to you, but growing up and looking at different murals while I rode the train encouraged me to create. It made me feel like I wasn't just looking at brick walls, I was looking at something beautiful. And to be able to put one in the city brings me to tears, but I'm not gonna cry, because I cry every time I get an award. Everyone's over it, it's not cute anymore. Grow up, you're wearing a red dress. I also need to say thank you to Warner Brothers, which also is our co-producer. Warner Brothers 20th Century, am I forgetting? Disney, Go 90, YouTube Red. No, I'm kidding. No, I named the first ones. Thank you, guys. I need to say thank you to my husband who is in the room. I don't know where he is, that's crazy. Okay, I wanna say thank you for always supporting me through this process. It's not easy to do, but it's easier because I have you. And thank you to Adam Siegel, who has been my manager since before I even knew what I was going to do with my life. He's one of those people who grabbed my hand and said, you have a future in this industry, and you probably have what it takes to create a sitcom. So Adam, thank you so much. And last but not least, I want to say just thank you. This one's I really need to say thank you to the Abbott Elementary Writers Room. I know this award is not for Abbott specifically, but they have held it down this season so far. As my life has gotten busier, they have become more and more and more instrumental and have taken care of my show, which is like all you can ask for when you are doing 3 different jobs at once. So if they see this, is this televised? No? When they see it on YouTube.com, I want to make sure they know I shouted them out because I appreciate them so much. Thank you, everyone, and have a great night. Thank you.
And directing a new series based on Judy Blume's book, Forever. Welcome, Regina King.
Hello. I am here to to celebrate a film about a literary legend, Judy Blume. Through her beloved books, she lets young girls know that everything they're going through is totally normal. It's okay to be curious, to feel confused, and to seek answers. In the 1970s, which I may have been born in that time, a time when changing bodies and sexuality were topics better left ignored, Judy gave young people the stories we needed. In this touching documentary, filmmakers Davina Pardo and Leah Walchuk explore the lasting influence Judy has on generations, her tenacity in the face of censorship, and the themes she dared to tackle that threatened sensitivities. Winning a Peabody Award tonight, this is Judy Blume Forever.
I just cannot believe that it does our kids any favor to present sex with punishment. I would much rather give them sex with love, sex with responsibility.
You can see how the character of Michael is, in the beginning, pushing and encouraging and kind of drawing Catherine in. She too wants it, and she talks about what her body feels like. The way that Judy treats female sexuality and desire and pleasure, it's still groundbreaking.
I so enjoyed this documentary, man. Accepting on behalf of Judy Blume Forever, our co-directors, Davina Pardo and Leah Walchuk.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Peabody Awards, for this tremendous honor. We are so thrilled to be here tonight among so many artists and journalists we admire. Thank you to Sarah Bernstein, Justin Wilkes, Meredith Coffers, and the team at Imagine Documentaries, and Jennifer Salke, Mike Hopkins, Brianna O, Alex Pennebaker, and the whole team at Prime Video for believing in this film from the very beginning, and for celebrating the fearless imagination and radical honesty of Judy Blume. Our deepest thanks to our entire crew for taking us back to childhood and adolescence. We especially want to thank two of our collaborators who are here with us tonight, our producer, Marcella Garcia Steingart, and our composer, Lauren Koljak. Thank you. And to our families, thank you for your support, your kindness, your patience, and your tolerance of our obsession with puberty. And I just have to say, if you are lucky enough to have parents who are still with you, as I do, I have to say thank you, Mom and Dad. Sorry, I had to ad-lib that one.
We learned early on that Judy Blume has had the most extraordinary relationship with her readers, and we really couldn't have made this film without talking to them. We are grateful to everyone who shared their stories with us in the film, especially Karen Chilstrom and Lori Kim, who started writing letters to Judy when they were tweens and kept in touch with her over decades. And to our fairy godmother, all of our fairy godmother, the incredible Judy Blume, thank you for a body of work that has inspired generations of readers, for showing us the power of empathy, truth, and humor in storytelling, and for your tireless work over the last 50 years to fight book banning and help ensure that all children can find themselves in a book. Thank you all so much.
As well as being a successful actor, he is the founder of the online media platform Hit Record and has won 2 Emmys for interactive media. Here's Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Hello. In 2016, the US presidential election was the target of a Russian sabotage campaign under direction of dictator Vladimir Putin, who was aiming to undermine people's faith in democracy and aiming to help Donald Trump win the White House. Now, former President Trump denied that this happened. And then, a young woman with security clearance printed out some classified documents that proved it happened and delivered those documents to the press. And that whistleblower was named Reality Winner. And did she break the law? Yes. Like any number of heroic whistleblowers before her. But she did what she did because she knew it was right and because she believed that the American people deserved to know the truth. Now, her story has been made into a beautiful new film by Tina Satter with a powerful lead performance by Sydney Sweeney. So, yeah, take a look at this 2024 Peabody winner, Reality.
Have you ever discussed any classified material with anybody who wouldn't have the prior U.S. government authorization?
No.
Reality. What if I said that I have the information to suggest that you did print out stuff that was outside of that scope?
I felt hopeless, and just seeing that information be contested back and forth in the public domain with everything else that just keeps getting released and everything that keeps getting leaked. Like, why can't this get out there? Why can't this be public?
Accepting on behalf of Reality is director Tina Satter. Did I say your name wrong? Oh no, what is it?
No, you said right. Thank you so much. It was really cool to hear you say all that.
Thank you so much to the Peabodys. I've said this many times now, but the first time I came upon this transcript, I was like, this is my kind of thriller. A girl in jean shorts goes head to head with these dudes in her own house in the name of protecting the truth. It was right there, a record of the state at work in a very particular moment in American history. So I'm forever grateful to have found collaborators who believed an FBI transcript could be the kind of thriller and artistic record I imagined. These include incredible producing partners Reva Marker, Noah Stahl, and Brad Becker-Parton, our wildly supportive EPs, and of course, the belief of HBO. So thankful to all of them, and our cast and crew. I want to call out the work of our actors, Josh Hamilton and Marchant Davis, and of course, Sydney Sweeney, who I really think is as good as it gets, delivering this under-the-skin performance. And always thinking, of course, of Reality winner herself and her family, who with a kind of grace and trust I don't even have words for, always believed in and helped us as I tried to tell one part of her story. Thank you so much to the Peabodys for recognizing this work in this moment.
He's a former NFL player turned #1 New York Times bestselling author, TED Talk speaker, and the host and producer of Uncomfortable Conversations with a Black Man. Here's Emmanuel Acho.
Good evening, good evening. Did you know that a number of black and brown communities were torn down to make room for developments around Lincoln Center and Central Park? No? Well, our next honoree is on a mission to inform you of little-known facts just like that. This 6-part micro-series on social media is a direct response to all the misinformation that can consume such media, challenging us to confront how race has shaped our history. Creators Khalil Green and Ariel Vieira team up to help us understand the past so that we can address present inequalities with the hidden history of racism in New York.
Right here was the African-American village that was destroyed in order to build Central Park.
So before Central Park was known as Central Park, it was the location of Seneca Village, a neighborhood full of prosperous black Americans. However, in 1857, the city government used a law known as eminent domain to forcibly remove all of the residents of Seneca Village. To gain public support, they even had a smear campaign where they referred to the people who lived here as tramps, squatters, and thieves.
Wow, what do you think should be done with this area of Central Park today? Stay curious, my friends.
Accepting on behalf of the hidden history of racism in New York City, our creator, Khalil Green, and director, Ariel Vieira.
Wow, wow. So it's almost ironic that my fantastic collaborator Ariel and I are receiving this award at a time where social media is thought of as a place full of rampant myths and disinformation. But we see this series, which we poured our heart and soul into, as an example of what social media could be, a place full of truth. And not just any kind of truth, the most important kind of truth, the hard truth. You see, places like New York City and right here in Los Angeles have violent histories unfortunately steeped in legacy of genocide, enslavement, displacement, and discrimination. And though that's not a fun, it's real, yeah. Although that's not a fun topic to talk about, I mean, I guess you could kind of clap for that. Not a great thing. Although it's not a fun topic to talk about, my core belief has always been that bringing up these topics is the first step in the long process of repair and, very importantly, the prevention of them happening in the future, which unfortunately we have failed to do as a global community, as you can see in places like Congo, Sudan, Gaza, and Xinjiang. So we dedicate this award to all the communities whose stories have been erased by history, yet whose continued resilience inspires us all. Thank you.
She's an Australian actress who has appeared in films like Bridesmaids and Neighbours, as well as starred in the hit TV series Physical and Damages. Here's Rose Byrne.
Ask any parent of a young child, what's the last show you watched with your kid that made you laugh one minute and then bawl your eyes out the next? And the answer probably would be our winner, Bluey. Yes, it's an animated show for preschoolers about an anthropomorphic family of Australian blue heeler dogs. But for some reason, nothing captures family life more realistically. I was honored that I could lend my voice as a guest star on the show. It's one of my family's favorites. It has a magical way of speaking to both kids and their parents alike, and that's because the creator, Joe Brum, has a clever way of hiding profound life lessons in the silly antics of this always playful family. All topics are on the table in this show, from death to infertility to fleeting friendships and to moving away. No matter how heavy the issue is, though, it's always handled with such beautiful humor and wonderful innocence. So please join me in Bluey. Accepting on behalf of Bluey is the voice of Bluey's mum, Chili, Melanie Zanetti.
Hello, I'm Melanie Zanetti, but you might know me as the voice of Mum, Chili Healer from Bluey. I am honoured to accept this award on behalf of Bluey's creator and writer Joe Brum, who wishes he could be here tonight, and the team at Ludo Studio. From everyone who helps bring Bluey to life, thank you to the Peabody Award Board of Jurors for this incredible honour. We continue to be amazed by how Bluey, an animated show about a family of healer dogs from Australia, touches audiences around the world. Thank you to Bluey's co-commissioners, Australian Broadcasting Corporation and BBC Studios, as well as the global broadcasting partner, Disney. Wackadoo.
Yeah, even the music's great. What a great show. Yeah, it really is. He is the first Palestinian American to star in his own stand-up television special and also stars in the Peabody-winning series Mo, a semi-autobiographical series about a Palestinian refugee seeking asylum while living in Texas. Here is Mo Amer.
Hello, hello. How you guys doing? Much rather be doing stand-up. I feel a lot of emotions. It's a beautiful thing. We're all together. I'll get right to it. Just 6 days after Hamas's attack on Israel, PBS NewsHour aired a powerful hour-long special about the attack and Israel's retaliation. It pulled together archival footage, expert interviews, and polling data to help viewers understand the tortured history of the region and how hardliners came to power on both sides. In the following weeks, PBS NewsHour continued to file compelling reports and talk to critics of both Hamas and the Israeli government to present both perspectives, covering the most divisive international story of our time with immediacy, fairness, and essential context. This is PBS NewsHour's War in the Holy Land.
October 7th, a day now seared into the memories of Israelis and Palestinians. By air, land, and sea, a surprise terrorist attack.
In the following days, Gaza has been under near constant bombardment. Israeli officials are blocking aid until the hostages are released. Now, Israel has told more than 1 million Gazans to move to southern Gaza to escape an expected ground invasion.
Accepting on behalf of War in the Holy Land is co-anchor Amna Novaz.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you to the Peabody Board of Jurors for this honor. This falls under stories we wish we didn't have to tell, but our job is to bear witness. After the horrific October 7th Hamas attacks, my colleagues and I dropped everything. We got on a plane and we went to the story with special correspondent Layla Molana-Allen's reporting, our senior foreign editor Morgan Till's round-the-clock quarterbacking, and our senior executive producer Sarah Just's leadership. They're with me on stage. We had a small but mighty team on the ground with me in Israel and a big team back at base in DC with my co-anchor Jeff Bennett, and our NewsHour team told nuanced, fact-driven stories with rigor and with empathy. We told stories of Israelis who endured the terror, who lost their loved ones, of Palestinians who are now literally running for their lives, pulling their children from beneath the rubble. War is hell, and covering it is one of our toughest duties. But I ask that you remember we can stand here today and accept this award because we could leave. And I ask that you remember those who can't, including the more than 100 journalists who have been killed in this war so far, 2 Israeli, 3 Lebanese, 103 Palestinians, without whom we would not know what's happening on the ground in Gaza. You can support their work through the Committee to Protect Journalists. You can support ours through the PBS NewsHour, because this work is far from over. Covering war is hard, and covering this war in particular is harder than any war I've ever covered. I want to thank you for recognizing the complexity and the humanity that we have tried to convey for the last nearly 250 days of war. I also want to thank our leadership at PBS. I want to thank the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, our generous funders, without whose support we could not do this work. And of course, I want to thank viewers like you. Thank you.
On October 7th, a young journalist living in Gaza named Bisan Awada chronicled her family leaving their home and traveling to the supposed safe zone of Al-Shifa Hospital. From a makeshift tent outside, she documented their struggle for survival without clean water and food. Since her initial reporting, Bisan gained an international audience, and her reports have been picked up by ABC News, CBS News, and the BBC. She went on to make her own film series on life in Gaza, has garnered over 40 million views worldwide. Despite the unimaginable conditions and the challenges she faces as a Palestinian at this time in history, she never fails to show the world her indomitable spirit, always starting her report with, "It's Bisan from Gaza, and I'm still alive."
are hard, but now the days are harder too. Everyone is carrying injuries and murdered people from the streets because the carpet bombings happened in the streets without any warning, and people are killed every single moment.
Of course, Bisan couldn't be here with us tonight, so she is accepting the Peabody from Gaza. Here she is.
Hey everyone, this is Bisan from Gaza. I'm still alive, and perhaps I'm luckier than 48,000 people who were killed in an 8 months ongoing genocide, but perhaps not. Anyways, I feel better today because I feel that our stories, our struggles, and our resistance is heard and seen, and that our documentation for this genocide is well recognized. So thank you for making us, our people, heard, and for hearing us when saying justice for our people and free Palestine.
Congratulations to Bisan. Love, compassion, always over everything. Thank you so much. Good night.
Next are two winners that bring important insights into the terrible war in Ukraine. While many aid workers and journalists fled the besieged city of Mariupol following Russia's invasion in 2022, a dedicated team from the Associated Press, led by Eastern Ukraine-born director Mstislav Chernov, stayed to document the unfolding tragedy. Despite constant threats to their safety, these reporters captured some of the war's most heartbreaking scenes. Fighter jets overhead, pregnant women fleeing a bombed maternity hospital, and mass graves. This is a first-hand account of the horrors of war that not only serves as a vital historical record, but also underscores the crucial role of journalism in holding power to account during times of crisis. Here is the Oscar-winning film, 20 Days in Mariupol.
Someone once told me, wars don't start with explosions. They start with silence. If the world saw everything that happened in Mariupol, it would give at least some meaning to this horror.
Accepting on behalf of 20 Days in Mariupol is director Mstislav Chernov.
Thank you, Peabody. Thank you, the jury. Thank you, my team, Associated Press, Frontline, PBS, and my colleagues from Ukraine. I've been sitting there and thinking, what should I say from the stage? And I thought I will go up and say that my hometown was bombed today. And then I realized I have already said that from the stage a few months ago. And then before that, I said the same thing again, a year ago. And it became a normality for me, and it's horrifying. But it's not only the people who are getting killed at war, it's the truth. So I wish to all my fellow documentary filmmakers who are in this room and who are out there, strength and energy to fight for truth, because that's the fight that it's waiting for us. Thank you.
Back in the summer of 2022, Gayatri Parameshwaran and Felix Getka decided to do something to revolutionize the way people see art during devastation. They grabbed their 360-degree camera and headed behind the front lines. This interactive piece, by using VR magic, drones, and photogrammetry, puts you at the center of the crisis and gives you an understanding of the cultural consequences of war. You can be in an art museum where curators are scrambling to protect priceless paintings from bombs, or hitting the streets with a graffiti artist who's turning ruins into symbols of resilience. Here is a look at You Destroy, We Create, the war on Ukraine's culture.
Hamlet Zinkivsky, an artist from Kharkiv who paints street art. It's me. Despite the fact that my city is shelled every damn day, I'll continue to draw as long as I'm alive.
In the first hours of the war, you feel like your universe is crumbling under your feet.
Accepting on behalf of You Destroy, We Create is producer and co-director Gayatri Parameshwaran.
Yeah, it's such an honor to be in this room with all of you. Thank you to the Peabody Awards for recognizing this piece. This award is dedicated to those incredible and brave Ukrainian artists and creatives and cultural professionals who continue to work tirelessly to protect their cultural heritage as well as to create new art in the face of war. And that is just a great work that they are doing. First of all, thanks to Felix, who's my co-director and producer in the piece. Thanks to our executive producers, Amy and Eric, who can't be here, for seeing the potential and backing this very risky project. Thanks, Sandra, and thanks to Irina and our incredible Ukrainian team, as well as our talented co-creators at Now Here Media, Mia, Julius, Olya, Philip, Piare, Moritz, Billy, 52 Lab Association, and so many more people who made this project a reality and a success. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Her role in the Peabody winning series Pose made her the first transgender actress to win a Golden Globe and be Emmy nominated. Since then, she has been a series regular in Luke and American Horror Story. Please welcome Michaela J. Rodriguez.
Our next Peabody Award winner brings to light the forgotten stories of the New York City meatpacking district where trans sex workers once hustled. Filmmakers Kristen Lavelle and Zachary Drucker give a voice to this beautiful and marginalized community, preventing their stories from slipping through the cracks during gentrification. Instead of perpetuating harmful stereotypes, this innovative documentary gives these trans women a platform to speak their truth. This is The Stroll.
The police would scramble the girls by driving the squad cars on top of the sidewalk, blaring their sirens to chase us out of the area.
We can't just be normal people at work. They will categorize us as sex workers first, before employers, employees, before anything. We will be drug addicts, whores, and prostitutes before we're... I hope their ties bust.
Accepting on behalf of The Stroll is co-director Kristen Lavelle.
Thank you so much to the Peabody jurors for recognizing The Stroll as a story that matters. It's so important to our community, especially for the ladies of The Stroll, that our stories are seen, heard, and elevated. In the days when I was on a sex worker stroll in New York City's meatpacking district, I never would have imagined standing here one day to accept a Peabody Award. Thank you to HBO for being our partners on this film from the very beginning, to Kingdom Reign, our producer, Matt Wolf, and our fabulous crew, and all of the beautiful minds that made this happen.
During the height of the AIDS crisis in the 1980s, choreographer Bill T. Jones created a dynamic performance piece to honor his partner, Arnie Zane, and other members of the LGBTQ community who were lost to the disease. In this emotional documentary, a group of dancers reconstructs the iconic performance piece to learn about the forgotten period of history and to connect the past. The film is as radiant as the choreographer and teaches us that even though we may lose people that we love, their legacy still lives on. Highlighting the healing power of the arts and its celebration of survival, this is Can You Bring It? B.T. Jones and D-Man in the Waters.
We were very abandoned and lost and afraid. This piece is going to be about what it takes to live.
1, 2. Hi, I'm Mateo.
What part are you doing?
And I'm Larry / Tom. And I'm playing you, the Bill part.
Us! What are we going through?
Accepting on behalf of Can You Bring It, B.T. Jones and D-Man in the Waters is co-director Rosalind LeBlanc.
Thank you. Tom Hurwitz and I give our heartfelt thanks to the Peabody Awards for recognizing our film and Black public media for everything you did broadcasting the film and leading to this moment. We thank our families for their continuous support, Margaret, Nick, Rio, and Mateo, who are with us tonight. Thank you, Bill T. Jones and New York Live Arts. Thank you, Loyola Marymount University, and all those there who supported and worked on the film. Thank you, executive producer Karen Dial and the Drawlinger Family Charitable Foundation, the Mellon, Ford, and Graves Foundations, and all who supported this film. We thank the crew and production people who worked for less and gave more, especially editor Ann Collins and producer Duana Butler. Thank you, Kino Lorber. Thank you to the Aquavella family. Thank you all. Making this film was the greatest honor.
Can You Bring It is a film about making art and love in the face of catastrophe and death. The man who brought us through it was Bill T. Jones. He's one of America's great creators and great souls. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm in the audience, and some of these segues are tough. I'm here with Sir Patrick Stewart. How are you doing, sir?
May I stand up? Thank you. Thank you. I'm very emotional. I feel so honored to be partaking in this awards ceremony, unlike any awards ceremony I have ever imagined or indeed ever been part of. It is extraordinary, and I congratulate all of the winners, but also all of those who support and work and represent, because it is also in that direction that advancement and liberty and democracy will proceed. Thank you.
Beautiful. I second all of that. I agree. Thank you, Sir Patrick Stewart, for saying that. Matt Bomer, you are distractingly gorgeous, and you should not be sitting right in front. You're like sculpted in French butter, my friend. I want to put a heat lamp on you and watch you melt over my brioche. Some of the segues are tough, and it's my fault. That was beautiful, Sir Patrick. Here we go, segue. If it was not intimidating enough being on stage in the presence of Mel Brooks here, I now get to introduce another comedy legend who is presenting Mel with his award. To list his many accomplishments as a comedian, an impressionist, a film, television, and stage actor, a writer, playwright, and author, producer, and director would take much more time than we have. So I'm just going to say, please welcome Billy Crystal.
Thank you. Thank you very much. No, please be seated. Thank you. This is a real joy to be here tonight to introduce an incredible man. Our esteemed honoree tonight for the, please don't stand in front of my spontaneous remarks. It's nice to be out. Our esteemed honoree tonight, as I was saying, for the Peabody Career Achievement Award, famously once said, "I've been accused of vulgarity. I say bullshit." That pretty much sums up my friend, my mentor, my honorary uncle, Mel Brooks. Mel is a genius who believes that comedy should push boundaries, challenge societal taboos, and yes, be a little vulgar when the mood calls for it. And with Mel, the mood often calls for it. You see, Mel uses humor as a form of resistance. See, when Mel wants to protest anything, he just takes out a pen. In The Producers, Mel used satire to skewer the Nazis, turning Hitler into a bumbling, tap-dancing fool and ridiculing their ideology. Blazing Saddles tackled racism head-on, mocking stereotypes and exposing the absurdity of bigotry and flatulence. Through Young Frankenstein, Mel challenged deeply ingrained fears and prejudices, and that's just a sample. Mel is one of the big reasons that I have a life in comedy. His fearless genius and boundary-pushing humor have been my guiding light from day one. To me, he's a comedy tornado. When I was 13, back in that's when the 2,000-Year-Old Man album came out with his brilliant partner, the late Carl Reiner. That album and the other comedy albums of that time, they were my rock and roll. I listened to it over and over again, studied it, and I learned life lessons from it. When asked by Carl, "What's the secret to living 2,000 years?" Mel simply said, "I never, ever eat fried food." As a mentor, his wisdom has steered me through some of the most pivotal moments in my career. He's given me the best advice and the greatest laughs on and off stage. I'm telling you, the laughs that you're going to see in a second on screen are amazing, but just sitting with him alone, nothing like it, folks. One of the greatest thrills of your lifetime. Now, the Career Achievement Award is reserved for people whose work and commitment to broadcasting and streaming media have left an indelible mark on American culture. I didn't write that part. As one of the most influential figures in the history of American comedy, whose irreverence and fearlessness encourage audiences to question authority and embrace diversity, Mel Brooks is a shoo-in. Take a look.
I don't know how to thank you for coming here, so no thanks. I'm American treasure, Mel Brooks.
Mr. Mel Brooks.
Mel Brooks. Mel Brooks. Yes? To some of you, I'm a hero. Yes. To others, merely a legend. You're hiding me. Good evening, ladies and Jews.
I would have been a comic had I not had such a great vehicle for my passion.
Your show of shows.
Sid Caesar was a genius. So I said, I'm going to write for you.
The moon is made of green cheese. Where did that start?
Oh, that's an a very old legend. That's not true, no. Cream cheese.
Hey, let's do that 2,000-pound man thing.
I would like to know about one particular lady, Marie Antoinette.
Oh,
it's always fascinating.
Marie, what a cutie.
When that guillotine fell and chopped her head off, how did you feel?
Terrible.
Yes,
I felt awful about it. Killed my whole day.
Yes.
Yes, it killed her day, too, you know. Yeah. This is Smart. Maxwell Smart.
You better give up. This building is surrounded by 40 control agents. Would you believe 30?
You can't make a successful comedy that doesn't have any passion. The Lord Jehovah has given unto you these 15. You've got to say something about the system. 10 commandments about the social structure.
The people are revolting.
You said it. They stink on ice. About prejudice, about people, about behavior.
Hey, where are the white women at?
Adolf Hitler not giving the performance he had hoped for tonight.
Oh, no.
I've said it before, I'll say it again. If you put concentration camps in people's countries, you better be flawless on the ice.
The Inquisition, what a show. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy. Everybody got that?
Missed it by that much.
Hell!
You never saw the producer?
Well, I was busy at the time.
It ran for 6 years.
It's good to be the king.
For over 70 years, Mel has entertained us. I just want to ask you folks, where would we be without him? For his incredible contribution to American culture and becoming only the 4th PGOT winner in the process, it's a big deal. I'm just an eat. It is my honor to bestow the Peabody Career Achievement Award to the one and only Mel Brooks.
Please keep standing. Okay. Enough is enough. Okay, thank you. Billy, you should get one of these just for soap. You should get one of these. You deserve so much, and I have so many things to say, but I do want to say thank you. But I know you're a busy guy coming out, doing all that. The things on the screen and all, I feel redundant. I mean, it was so much. Who is this Mel Brooks? Who is this guy? Anyway, I want to tell you, I wasn't sure when they said, you've won a Peabody Award. I said, oh, No shit. Wow. Wow. And then I thought, well, maybe it was for being the best looking guy in show business. I didn't know what, I had no idea what this award, and I'm kidding because I knew it's mostly for electronics. If you're good in electronics, you can win one of these. Anyway, I'd like to say I humbly, but I'm not humble. Humble don't work. I mean, you know, there's no such, humility is not a part of my vocabulary. I don't even know how to spell. I think humility probably starts with a U. I have no idea. Anyway, as Bob Hope used to say, but seriously, folks, this is a great honor, and it has been won by a distinguished group of esteemed, well worth winning this award, and I feel a little, I don't know, you really want me to be part of this? These are people that go to good restaurants. I mean, you know. Anyway, but seriously, I thank you for this prestigious and fabulous award, and I promise the George Foster Peabody people, I will not sell this one, I promise. I'm telling you. Anyway, thank you very much.
As a professional boxer, she was she has a world champion in 2 weight classes. As an actress, she stars alongside Jodie Foster in the TV series True Detective Night Country. Please welcome Kaylee Reese.
Tonight, we celebrate the story of 4 teens growing up on tribal lands in Oklahoma. Gee, let's go, let's go. Even though Bear, Elora, Willie Jack, and Cheese did everything they could to leave the res and find better futures, something kept luring them back. Was it their ancestors or sense of indigenous identity? Created by Sterling Harjo, a member of the Seminole Nation with Muskogee ancestry and Taika Waititi of Maori descent, this show expertly tackled issues of poverty, forced assimilation, and ancestral rights with humor, lots of humor, depth, and mysticism. I'm so sad that the 3rd and final season has come and gone, but it has left an important mark in our television and indigenous history. This is season 3 of Reservation Dogs.
So you have any teachings for me? Seems like I haven't seen you in like forever.
Yeah, well, you kind of told me to fuck off, Bear. Now, I'm a really strong warrior, but they hit me to my core. I cried.
I'm sorry about that.
4 sacred days. Sacred number.
I'm sorry. A lot has happened since then, and
I'm just fucking with you, man. I know. I've been following you on your little Instagrams and your little TikToks. Yeah. Hey, but for real, don't try to follow me on there. I'm using burner accounts, okay?
Winning his 2nd Peabody Award and accepting on behalf of Reservation Dogs is co-creator and executive producer, Sterling Harjo.
Thank you, Lane. Thank you, Lane. It's really hard to follow Mel Brooks, but yeah, thank you so much. Thank you to the Peabody Awards. This is our 2nd one. Really wonderful to be here in person and accept this. Thank you so much. Thank you to FX for believing in us and letting us kind of do whatever we wanted to do and believe that we could make a good show and believing in us. It was a really wonderful experience. And thanks to all of you. Like I'm really proud to be amongst creators and storytellers like yourself. Thank you to the cast and my producers here, Garrett over here, and my brother Taika Waititi, who opened the door and said, "I think this shit ass has something to say. I want to give him a platform and let us make this show." Couldn't be happier. In 1924, Native people became U.S. citizens. Let that sink in. 20 years later, over 20 years later, we got to vote for the first time. So there's a lot of people that sacrificed a lot for us to be on this stage. And I want to honor them and honor the people that helped us make this show, my friends and family back in Oklahoma, and all of the Native people that came before us to help us tell these stories and tell them accurately and have good representation for who we are and finally get the truth and tell the truth of who we are. Thank you so much for giving us this. Mado, thank you so much.
She is a gun violence prevention activist and author who founded Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense after the Sandy Hook school shooting tragedy. Last year, Time magazine named her one of the 100 most influential people in America. Here's Shannon Watts.
Gun violence continues to cast an inescapable shadow over school communities, shaping the daily experiences of students and educators. Washington Post reporters Hannah Natanson, Sabby Robinson, and Mariah Ballinget spent months embedded in Huguenot High School in Richmond, Virginia. This school community experienced 2 gun-related tragedies, including one at the school's graduation ceremony. Through candid conversations with students and teachers and district officials and local police, this podcast series takes a comprehensive look at the challenges faced by modern-day high schools where gun-related tragedies loom large. Here is Post Reports, Surviving to Graduation.
Tragedy is typical. The unthinkable has become routine.
If I'm being honest, I almost feel numb. It's like, yep, there was another shooting. And now we find some joy in the fact that we hear about a shooting in the community, that the student didn't die, that at least it wasn't that. And I mean, that is, what an insane mind frame to have.
Accepting on behalf of Post Reports, Surviving to Graduation is creator and writer Sabby Robinson.
From myself and the entire team that created Surviving to Graduation, thank you for this incredible honor. While we were reporting on Huguenot High School in Richmond, Virginia last year, 2 members of the senior class were shot and killed, Jaden Carter and Sean Jackson. These tragic deaths and the aftermath that we witnessed firsthand are all too common for so many communities in this country. Thank you to the families and the school staff for trusting us with their memories and stories. And from the beginning, all of them were so open and even took care of us in the face of tragedy, including Huguenot former school resource officer Willie Ruffin, who's up here with us on stage tonight. Thank you, Willie. He and the others at Huguenot showed us just how powerful a community can be and why sharing their stories is really important. Thank you.
And now we take you to Franklin, Tennessee, an affluent Nashville suburb where a social media savvy alderwoman named Gabrielle Hansen entered the mayoral race on a platform of Christian nationalism. But when chief investigative reporter Phil Williams, a WTVF News Channel 5, started following her campaign, he uncovered a long trail of hypocrisy and deceit. Despite violent threats from her supporters, Phil pressed on, releasing stories that gained national attention. His reports led to a record voter turnout, and it resulted in Gabrielle Hansen's decisive loss as the mayor of Franklin. This is the aptly titled "Hate Comes to Main Street."
Welcome to the Gabrielle Hansen for Mayor of the City of Franklin campaign.
Gabrielle Hansen took to the right-wing Patriot Punkcast for her closing argument, the end of a controversial campaign that included her admission to an arrest for promoting prostitution in Texas in the mid-90s and her husband's participation in a 2008 Pride event in Chicago, despite her campaign against Pride events in Franklin. But it was Hansen's association with white supremacists who showed up at a campaign event in a show of support for her that has captured national attention.
Accepting on behalf of Hate Comes to Main Street is reporter Bill Williams.
On behalf of photojournalist Brian Staples and our incredible team of managers here with me, thank you so much for this honor. Thank you to our families, all of our families, but especially my wife Cheryl, who frankly did not know that she was signing up for threats from white supremacists when we were married. Thank you for being my partner in standing up for what is right. Recently, a very nice African-American woman came up to me at a department store in this community that we had investigated, and she suddenly started tearing up. Her name was Tony. Tony quickly explained that her tears came from the fact that, as she put it, I don't have a voice, but you are my voice. All of us at News Channel 5 are honored to be a voice for those who feel they don't have a voice, and that you have recognized that this was a story that truly mattered. Thank you so much.
He is an actor and activist, known for his roles in The Flash, Insecure, and How to Get Away with Murder. Here's Kendrick Sampson.
All right. So, good investigative reporting uncovers truths. It holds powerful figures accountable and safeguards the integrity of democracy. Our next winner is a prime example of why it's so important. A team working for NBC5 in my home state, Texas, in Dallas-Fort Worth, had a credible lead suggesting that seminars led by Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association had been quietly radicalizing law enforcement agents by advocating that sheriffs have a power that supersedes that of federal agencies. So they launched a months-long investigation to confirm, and their pursuit of the truth led to real change. This is Against All Enemies.
Extremism is coming to a town near you.
We are not subject to federal direction. We get to be free and be left alone.
He espouses that sheriffs are the highest law of the land, that they answer to no higher governmental authority.
It's wrong. The sheriff is not the highest authority.
Accepting on behalf of Against All Enemies is reporter Scott Friedman.
Well, thank you so much to the Peabody jurors on behalf of all of us from NBC5 in Dallas-Fort Worth. It's hard to express how much this recognition means to a local television station, especially today, as we've seen coordinated attempts to undermine democracy, attacks on the truth often start and spread at the local level. And so from the school board to the state house to the sheriff's office, local journalists find themselves now on the front lines trying to counter fiction with facts and hold people in positions of power accountable. I'm proud of how this team took up that mission, and I'm grateful to work at an NBC Universal local television station where leaders like Valerie Staub, Kevin Keeshan, John Stone, and Tony Canales support in-depth investigative reporting. And we, as a group, are honored to stand here representing some of the many local journalists fighting for truth in their own communities. We need you all now more than ever. Thank you again.
Our next winner proves that hindsight is 20/20. In this in-depth podcast series, host Johannes LaCour takes us back to a 1997 hate crime in his old Chicago neighborhood where Leonard Clark, a young black boy, was brutally beaten into a coma by white teenagers. Together with producers Bill Haley, Sarah Gase, hold on now, I don't want to mess up your name. I'm gonna try it really hard, but don't hit me when you come out here. Irissa Apuntaku. I got a clap from backstage, so I think I got it right. And Dana Brozos-Keleher. Johannes revisits this story in order to find out the truth. And just FYI, before he came, he met me in the back and he was like, "You don't know who I am, but I know who you are." And I was like, "I think you're gonna be surprised when you come up to pick up your award." This is a blend of personal memories, investigative reporting, and a serious look on how challenging it can be to get justice. Take a listen to You Didn't See Nothing.
25 years ago, in Chicago, a little boy named Leonard Clark was beaten into a coma for being black in a white neighborhood. Turns out, the main guy who beat him was from a very powerful Chicago family. And almost overnight, all the headlines were about racial reconciliation and forgiveness. I didn't buy that shit. Back then, I was a part-time college student and full-time drug dealer, neither of which had anything to do with solving hate crimes, but still, I had to do something. So I started investigating how it all went down. What I learned changed the way I see power in Chicago and changed the course of my life.
Accepting on behalf of You Didn't See Nothing is creator and reporter Johannes LaCour.
So first off, God is good, man. 7 years ago, I came home from the joint. I was just looking to get a gig writing, editing classifieds at my neighborhood newspaper. And I wound up meeting a guy named Jamie Calvin, who I want to thank for giving me the opportunity to work with the coldest audio journalism team on the planet. Big ups Invisible Institute, USG Audio, teammates who couldn't join us today, Stephen Jackson, Taka Yasuzawa, Alex Segura. I dedicate this to my brother, my best friend, my rappy, Sekou Dancy. He died when we was like halfway through doing this. Rest in power, bro. I dedicate this to Leonard Clark for giving us his blessings to tell this very personal story. Thank you. I dedicate this to the South Side of Chicago and all the men, women, and children in societies locked down and away in poverty projects and prisons. And in closing, I want to challenge everybody to consider just how many untold stories and potential Peabody Award winners it is behind those walls. Free the guys, one love.
Here's Darren Criss.
Good evening. Hope everybody's still got energy in them. It's an honor to be here. Our next winner takes you to the 1950s, when a wave of panic dubbed the Lavender Scare led us to the investigation and systematic removal of gay men and lesbians from the federal government. It is here that we meet Hawkins and Timothy, played by my unbelievably sexy friend, Matt Bomer, and the also very sexy, and not necessarily my friend yet, but I am open to the idea, Jonathan Bailey. The two men fall in love and struggle to keep their affair a secret. This limited series, based on Thomas Mallon's 2007 novel, captures the struggles and triumphs of love through 50 years of LGBTQ history. Here's a look at the limited series, Fellow Travelers.
Tim, what do you want? I want to be with you. Sleep in the same bed with you all night. Not get kicked out at midnight so the neighbors won't see me leaving in the morning. I want to eat a meal with you like other couples. We have never eaten in a restaurant. Men do eat in restaurants. I could be your cousin. Nephew. From the poor side of the family. Obviously.
Accepting on behalf of Fellow Travelers, our showrunner, Ron Nicewander, and executive producer and star, Matt Bomer.
Hi, everybody. Sorry, I can't read a teleprompter. I don't see that well, so I have this. This is such an honor, and who we are sharing the stage with tonight. I hate to use the word that Mel wouldn't use, but it does humble me. You know, I stand here with my colleagues, Matt Bomer, Dan Minahan, Robbie Rogers, Jelani Ladden, Aaron Newfer is here, and so many, the entire cast and crew. And I want to thank Paramount for supporting the show. And I want to thank my Showtime and Fremantle executives who developed the show. And they have supported me all the way because I spent more than 40 years in a civil rights movement that is based on the right to love. I wanted to write a love story. And I wanted to extend that story because that civil rights movement struggle is a long struggle. It has been a long struggle. So I went back to the 50s, to the Lavender Scare, to the persecution by the federal government of sexual deviance, and we get to see Joe McCarthy and Roy Cohn destroy thousands of lives. And by the way, when you watch our show, please bear in mind that Roy Cohn was the mentor to one of our presidential candidates. Be afraid, everybody. Be very afraid. And we went from there. I wanted to extend the series to cover our struggles. So we go through the 60s and the 70s and the assassination of Harvey Milk into the 80s and the AIDS crisis when our government's indifference contributed to the death of thousands of people. And they kept saying, keep going. And then I said, well, I want the show to be really beautiful. And they said, great. And I said, and it's going to be filled with sex. As a matter of fact, when I handed in the pilot, and they read it, and they got to page 30, and it was the third sex scene, and the Jonathan Bailey character begins sucking on the Matt Bomer character's toes. They still said, keep going. Even then, they didn't say, hey, Rod, slow down. They said, be more ambitious, be more provocative. And thank you. And you know, our business is going through these changes, and I keep reading about, I don't quite understand, you know, and we wonder what is going to happen. But I hope that what doesn't happen is that we lose the courage to keep telling artists to be more provocative and more ambitious. And we just don't start serving some algorithm that doesn't really care if we move people to think or feel. Because, as we've seen a testament tonight, art is about making people think and feel. I've spent my life trying to do it. Thank you for honoring that tonight. Thank you.
Thank you for being with her for this night of tonal whiplash. It really is, you know, where Peabody's cast a wide net. I think it's great. The school shooting January 6th, Mel Brooks. I mean, yeah. Ukraine, Bluey, good. That's what we're going to change the name of the Peabody to, Whiplash. He was a writer and producer of the Peabody-winning series, The Bernie Mac Show, a co-creator of the hit show Blackish, and the host of The Nightly Show with Larry Wilmore. Please welcome Larry Wilmore.
Hey, how about another round for your host and MC, Kumail Nanjiani, you guys? Right? Crushing it. Crushing it. Yeah. And, I forgot, Kumail. NBA Finals update. The Celtics just beat Pakistan. I'm really sorry about that. Really sorry. Really sorry. Well, welcome to hour 2 of 7, you guys. How you doing? Hanging in there? Strap in. There's a lot more to go, you guys. All right, well, let's get right to it. Clarence Thomas went from being a lone voice of dissent to overturning Roe v. Wade, gutting the Voting Rights Act, and ending affirmative action in higher education. God, what a dick. Unbelievable. Seriously, right? Fuck. The fuck, man? The fuck? Seriously, right? I'm sorry, that wasn't in the prompter. I just couldn't nail myself. Veteran frontline producer Michael Kirk and his team wanted to explore his dramatic transformation and look into his marriage to Ginny Lamp, a politically active woman from a privileged background with ties to far-right groups. The report features revealing interviews with childhood friends, classmates, former romantic partners, and associates who witnessed the couple build allies and accumulate enemies. This captivating 2-hour report asks the question, how did he become such a dick? No, it doesn't answer the question. No. I'm sorry. Once again, I went off prompter. I apologize, you guys. It's a 7-hour show. What am I supposed to do? I'm going crazy. Yeah. Ask the question, who really are Clarence and Ginny Thomas?
She saw herself as having more running room, more freedom to get out there and play a hands-on role in rallying and organizing conservatives.
It's unprecedented and extraordinary that the wife of a Supreme Court justice, one of 9 who's on the court for life, that she was basically advocating for the overthrow of democracy in America.
Yeah. Accepting on behalf of Clarence and Ginny Thomas, Politics, Power, and the Supreme Court is producer and writer Mike Weiser.
On behalf of Director Michael Kirk and everyone who worked on this project, we'd like to thank you for this Peabody. We'd also like to thank Frontline's editor-in-chief and executive producer, Rainey Aronson-Rath, and managing editor, Andrew Metz. From the very beginning, they backed our investigation of 2 of the most controversial figures in America, Clarence and Ginny Thomas. Our goal was to understand who they are and where they came from. What we discovered went far beyond the simplistic caricatures often painted by their admirers and detractors. Their story reveals uncomfortable truths, not just about them, but about American history and who we are as a nation. Being willing to broadcast this film takes courage, and we are grateful to PBS, GBH, and to everyone at Frontline for giving us that opportunity. Finally, a special thanks to Jane Mayer, who has been reporting on the Thomases for decades and was an essential part of this project. Thank you.
He's still a dick. Okay. Ever since Hindu nationalist Narendra Modi was elected Prime Minister of India in 2014, freedom of the press has faced serious challenges, including the murder of journalists and government takeovers of media outlets. Directed by Vinay Shukla, our next honoree follows journalist Ravish Kumar over 2 years as he fights to maintain journalistic integrity despite violent personal threats, declining ratings, public distrust, and constant funding cuts. Described as an angry and anxious love letter to journalism, this documentary serves as a testament to the resilience of those who strive to uphold the truth. So winning a Peabody tonight, this is POV While We Watched.
नमस्कार, मैं रविश कुमार। पूरी दुनिया में झूठ एक नई चुनौती बनकर उभरा है। हम अपने राष्ट्रीय गर्व के साथ खड़े हों, जरूरी, मगर क्या आप वाकई इस बात को लेकर आश्वस्त हैं कि जिस माध्यम के सामने आप बैठे हैं, इससे पहले कि लोकतंत्र की बर्बादी में आप भागीदार बन जाएं, मेरा काम है झूठ और फर्जी मुद्दों के खिलाफ आपको अलर्ट कर देना।
Accepting on behalf of POV While We Watch is Director Vinay Shukla.
I honestly just wanted to walk up here and crack a joke, but what's happening on Indian TV news today doesn't allow me to. Indian TV news today is a factory of hate. News anchors are asking citizens to turn into mobs and act against those they disagree with. If you are one of those news anchors and you're watching this, remember, we are watching you too. We are watching as you weaken our social bonds, our civic institutions, our constitutional rights. We may not have power like you today, but we are watching. And it always starts with people watching and disagreeing peacefully. A long time ago, Gandhi walked to the sea, picked up a fistful of salt, and brought down the British Empire. I hope that this film and every other film and song and meme of defiance is a fistful of salt. Ravish's story is just one of the many more to come. I dedicate this award to my uncle Sarvesh Shukla and to my exec producer Jess Search, who I miss every day. And now for my protagonist, Ravish Kumar.
Thank you. I left my English pocket dictionary in the car, so I really have very few words to say. When a journalist becomes spreader of hate and lies, instigator of mob lynching, cheerleader for the government, it becomes an instrument to kill democracy. When hundreds of news channels repeats the same, they becomes a weapon to kill humanity. Most of the Indian mainstream media is a disgrace to democracy and humanity. I do like to remember my wife, Noyana, my brave daughters, Tanima and Tanisha, who suffered a lot, and my millions of viewers who felt hopeless, helpless, and stateless because of this criminal Indian mainstream media. They came in search of hope. They supported me. They gave me hope to do journalism. Whenever you get a chance, please do support journalism. You will get a good democracy. Thank you.
This isn't in the prompter also, but I just wanted to add to that. That is such brave, the work that filmmakers like that are doing, you guys. I was very fortunate when I won a Peabody to be handed it by Walter Cronkite. I actually made him laugh. I made a joke. But it's not lost on me how important journalism is, not only here, but around the world. And if we think it's only around the world that those types of things can happen, believe me, it only takes one bad election for it to go the other way. I don't want to make any political statements, but I just thought I would say that. All right, sorry. Had to get it out. Yes, the tangerine Idi Amin, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, in the 1970s, engineers drafted a big infrastructure plan in the heart of Boston that seemed laughably impossible. It aimed to bury an above-ground highway and build an underground tunnel to Logan Airport. Now, despite citywide objections, construction began. It took over 3 decades and suffered cost overruns, delays, construction failures, and infighting among officials, activists, journalists, and engineers. And in the gripping 9-episode podcast, Boston native Ian Koss uncovers how this project went from being a huge boondoggle to an urban planning marvel. Here's audio from the Peabody winning podcast, The Big Dig.
When Fred Salvucci set out to build the Big Dig, there were really 2 parallel missions as I see it. One was to restore the city physically, and that undeniably happened. The other was to restore the public trust, restore our faith that the government can build with compassion and vision to inspire us. Somehow, the Big Dig delivered on its promises, and yet, if anything, it left the public even more cynical about our capacity to build.
Accepting on behalf of the Big Dig is creator and host Ian Koss.
So amazing to be here with our entire team. We met yesterday in person for the first time ever. Isabel Hibbard, my co-producer, Lacey Roberts, editor, Devin Maverick Robbins, executive producer. Big thanks to the folks at GBH, Stephanie Lydon, Pam Johnston, Susan Goldberg. People keep saying to me after they hear it, I cannot believe a podcast about infrastructure could possibly be interesting. And so I give a lot of credit and faith to all those folks who believe that it could. But really, if anything, this award is a tribute to the government bureaucrat, okay? The beat reporter, the policy wonk, okay? The folks who knew all along that this stuff is really, really interesting if you just look close enough. So thank you so much.
She is an actress and the first person of Indian descent to host an American broadcast network late-night talk show. Please welcome Lily Singh.
What's up, y'all? Make some noise if you're having a good time. Come on. Yes. Okay, settle down. Simmer down. Now, as a casual gamer, I can tell you that if you haven't played a video game lately, you're completely missing out. Now, I know systems these days have a few more buttons than the Atari you might have had growing up, okay? But hear me out. Video games now offer storytelling that can rival novels. Don't believe me? Check out this next honoree that's set in 16th century Bavaria, where a manuscript artist must solve a series of murders in a small town. The game weaves period art into its visuals while diving into the region's evolving political, economic, and spiritual landscapes, examining the gender, class, and ethnic dynamics of the time period. God damn! Is this a TED Talk or a video game, y'all? Okay, Pentiment allows players to experience a unique and immersive experience and get a glimpse into the lives of people during the Renaissance. Here is Pentiment. Accepting on behalf of Pentiment is narrative designer Kate Dollarhide.
Wow, thank you so much. Pentiment exists thanks to the work of 13 brilliant developers and many more scholars, artists, designers, and musicians who helped us bring the world of early modern Bavaria to life. Thanks also to the folks at home at Obsidian Entertainment and to our partners at Xbox. I wish they could all be here with us tonight. We've been astonished by how many people have found something that spoke to them in our story about a painter who struggles to find meaning in a world going through tremendous change, but perhaps we shouldn't have been. This project was truly a labor of love. Sorry. And as Klaus, Tassing's printer, says, love is the only reason to do anything in this life. We're very honored. Thank you so much.
Now, from the Renaissance to the world of rock and roll, our next honoree is an immersive interactive series that follows the lives of a virtual indie pop band on their journey to stardom. Part narrative, part video game, it lets players dive into the personal and professional triumphs and struggles of the band members, exploring topics like mental health, money struggles, relationships, and identity. By focusing on friendship within the LGBTQ+ community, that's right, happy Pride, let's go. Yes, let's go. We Are OFK shines a light on underrepresented identities. With its beautiful artwork, expert writing and acting, and powerful soundtrack, We Are OFK is just quite simply really cool.
You feeling it as a first demo?
Yeah, totally.
You sure?
Honestly?
No, lie to me more.
It's just, I get stuck with Starfire or whatever. I don't really know what I even want to say with music.
I don't know, man. Who knows what they're trying to say? That's the point of saying it. If anything, you're honest. And when you're honest, saying anything is something special. Lying is the easy shit.
Accepting on behalf of We Are OFK is creative director and writer Teddy Deef.
I'd like to thank the teleprompter operator on behalf of my anxiety for changing these remarks at the last minute. It was a gift to direct this team. With me tonight, lead developer Jared Huntley, producer Michaela Foote, sound designer Akash Thakar, casting and voice director Chris Brown, and actor Fiona Renee, and dozens more. Generous, brilliant, everyone. And thank you all for welcoming interactive arts and video games into this beautiful celebration. We Are OFK is a story about small artists, anxious queer weirdos who are trying to make music and films and connect with the world around them. It's a powerful gesture from the Peabodys to recognize our story when the video game industry is struggling under parent companies that are chasing greed, chasing growth. And these are studios that are closing every week, award-winning, profitable studios, and they don't have labor unions to protect them. So I want to thank Feminist Frequency, Kowloon Knights, Nintendo, Steam, Epic, and PlayStation for standing behind us. Thank you, the Peabody Board and the University of Georgia, for this startling honor. Thank you.
She has an acclaimed acting career in films and television series, such as Big Little Lies, The Descendants, and The Fault in Our Stars. Please welcome Emmy-nominated Shailene Woodley.
Hello. The black kitebird is known for its distinctive forked tail, graceful soaring flight, and adaptability to various environments. As a lover of nature, as I'm sure we all are, I really deeply admire this next Peabody winner because it's a mesmerizing documentary that tells the story of two brothers in New Delhi who strive to save this majestic bird amidst rising pollution, I was going to say population, but rising pollution, and social unrest. As they care for injured wildlife, the brothers also face challenges from religious tensions and economic struggles, highlighting the connection between the bird's survival and the brothers' efforts to keep their family safe and together. Directed by Chinook Sin, this is All That Breathes.
तो मैं अगर हम अंदर जाके लेटेंगे तो चीले हमें भी खाएंगे क्या जाके लेट के निकल जा ठीक है पता लग जाएगा खाएंगे नहीं खाएंगे लेकिन क्या है ये जो नेचर में है ना नेचर में भी प्रोहिबिटेड है और ये एक नेचर का पार्ट इंसान ये भूल जाता है कि वो खुद भी एक मीट है
Accepting on behalf of All That Breathes is executive producer Sean B. Carroll.
Thank you, Shailene. I want you to picture a handful of people who couldn't be here tonight. First of all, on behalf of director Chinook Sen, producers Aman Man, Teddy Leifer, my fellow executive producer David Alisco, everyone who worked on this film. It was a co-production across several countries, and our teams at Kite Rabbit, Rise, and Tango Bang Studios. I thank the Peabody jury for recognizing this exceptional story. It was really unlikely to ever be told, but it got told, thanks goodness. And thanks to our partners at HBO and Submarine and Sideshow for their extraordinary support during this film's entire journey. But most of all, thank you to Nadeem Shahzad and Mohammed Saud, who invited us into their lives and shared their inspiring story. I'm happy to tell you that that story continues today. I just talked to Nadeem this week, and I want to leave you especially on a night where we've heard a lot of tough stories, a little glimmer of hope. And that is that these two brothers, originally untrained, in a few days will pass the milestone of having treated 32,000 birds. So now you know who really earned this. Thank you.
Next, we honor an in-depth three-part series that uncovers the failures and missteps that led to the Taliban's shocking 2021 victory in Afghanistan. Senior correspondent Martin Smith and his team offer a deeper look beyond the headlines and political spin as they interview Afghans, former high-ranking US officials, military personnel, and senior Taliban members, some speaking publicly for the first time. This impactful piece explains how the world's leading military power faced such a staggering defeat. Here's a look at Peabody winner America and the Taliban.
War is full of mistakes, full of incredible loss, tragedy, heartbreak.
You set off a car bomb, it's going to kill women and children and innocent civilians.
This was fighting.
You reject the idea that you handed a good deal to the Taliban.
Not at all. I got a good deal for the United States. We wanted out, we got out safely.
The Americans did not have a strategy for Afghanistan.
Why do you think we lost?
Accepting on behalf of America and the Taliban is producer, director, and writer Marcela Gavira.
I actually woke up this morning to a dream that all there was on television was reality TV shows about serial killers. So I'm really glad to be in a room and realize that that's not true. I'm humbled. The thank you to the Peabody jurors and the University of Georgia for this recognition. We are deeply honored to be acknowledged for our series on Afghanistan. For all the lives lost, and they're countless, and the money spent, over $2 trillion, Afghanistan has regressed to what it was before America invaded. It's the only country in the world where women are denied an education, where music is banned, where homosexuality is punished by death. We want to thank our team in Kabul, who was not allowed to leave the country, field producer Masoud Shnizai, Asil Kankakar, and Hekmat Mozasai. Correspondent, writer, producer, and my husband, Martin Smith, regrets not being here today. But I am grateful for him for having dodged bullets in Afghanistan for 20 years to get this story, and for giving me 20 years of happiness by his side. Here with me on stage are the geniuses behind this film, especially Brian Funk, and his amazing daughter is in the audience, and I just want to acknowledge that she gave up a lot of quality time with her father for this film to happen. And then there's Scott Anger, who has been my road buddy for 20 years, since 9/11. He was the co-producer and director of photographer. So many brilliant people worked on this film. I can't name them all, but it's Pilar Zarwari, Sasha Shell, Elizabeth Williams, Charles Farrell, the list goes on. And finally, I just want to say thank you to the editors of Frontline, Andrew Metz and Laura Nazell, and especially CPB and WGBH and our executive producer at Frontline, Rainey Aronson, who allows us to do serious, important work. Stay away from those serial killers. Thank you, everybody.
For 50 years, Nan Golden has combined art and activism through her powerful photography. Her work, including the AIDS exhibition Witnesses Against Our Vanishing, encourages us to see the world differently and with more empathy. Recently, she has shifted her focus to take on the Sackler family and hold them accountable for their role in the opioid crisis. Directed by Laura Poitras, this excellent documentary covers Nan's family history, her artistic journey in New York City, and her fight against Big Pharma. All the Beauty and the Bloodshed showcases her fearless dedication to making a difference.
We had a signal thread, but it was really like, go at this time. If you see prescriptions falling, it's starting.
We look like we're hundreds and hundreds of activists, right? We were not hundreds and hundreds. People are shouting with us. They're agreeing with us.
Accepting on behalf of All the Beauty and the Bloodshed is director Laura Poitras.
Thank you so much. We're profoundly grateful to the jury of the Peabody for this honor. This film would not have been possible without our collaborators at HBO and Participant and Neon. We share this with Nan and all the members of PAIN. As an artist, Nan has revolutionized how we see the world. As an activist, she and PAIN have redefined the narrative and placed shame and stigma where it belongs on the billionaire Sackler family and their unconscionable greed in fueling the overdose crisis. The death toll is over 500,000 lives, and yet the Sackler families have not faced criminal prosecution. We must support grassroots harm reduction efforts that keep people alive. We'd like to dedicate this award to all the activists who refuse to be silent and put their bodies on the line using direct action and civil disobedience to protest. Silence equals death. Ceasefire now. Thank you.
Our next presenter is a two-time Peabody winner and a former host of this show. He's Indian, and FYI, India also beat Pakistan at the Cricket World Cup, so yay, congratulations. Fuck. Please welcome Hasan Minhaj.
Yes, India and Pakistan unite. There we go, yeah, the only thing we partition is our hard drives, Kumail. That joke will do so much better online. It's so underappreciated in this colonial superpower. In 1991, the brutal beating of Rodney King by LAPD officers was caught on a civilian's video camera, providing irrefutable evidence of police brutality and leading to significant conversations about systemic racism. Just 1 year later, musician and activist Peter Gabriel, together with the Reebok Foundation and the Lawyers Committee for Human Rights, founded Witness, a movement that encouraged ordinary people to expose human rights violations, influence policy, and save lives by using video evidence. In its first decade, Witness provided camera equipment to activists worldwide, supporting causes like women's rights in Afghanistan, youth disappearances in India, and indigenous rights in the Philippines. They then realized that just providing cameras wasn't enough, and Witness expanded, developing online platforms, mobile apps, media labs, and instructional guides to train and support activists globally. More recently, it has helped convict a warlord at the International Criminal Court, exposed violence, sex trafficking, forced evictions, and established legal protections for vulnerable communities. Today, their resources available in 24 languages teach millions how to shoot, edit, and share impactful videos. Since its inception, the impact that Witness has had is undeniable. And in the era of generative AI, deepfakes, and synthetic media, their work is more important than ever.
A video is a powerful tool. It's very powerful when effectively used.
Ever since smartphones gave us all a portable camera in our pockets, we've been living in an age of user-generated content. Videos filmed by everyday people have been responsible for exposing police violence, military action, sexual harassment, and many other human rights abuses around the world.
Witness started out democratizing access to cameras, quite literally putting the power of video in the hands of activists around the globe. Today, we take that mission forward.
You telling me I can't record on my phone? Okay.
Fighting to ensure that global human rights defenders are the deciders on how new tactics are used ethically and with impact.
Ensuring that movements learn from each other and that frontline activists, lawyers, and tech platforms are united in the pursuit of human rights. Witness connects the dots.
When people see victims of human rights speaking about their own violations, it has an impact.
I am honored to present Witness the first ever Peabody Global Impact Award. And accepting on behalf of Witness is Executive Director Sam Gregory.
Thank you. We are humbled to accept the Peabody Global Impact Award on behalf of the Witness team worldwide. Over the course of the last 30 years, Witness has helped millions of people to use video to expose the truth and fight injustice. And now, in the age of AI and deepfakes, we make sure that journalists and human rights defenders can still be trusted, believed, and acted upon. First and foremost, I want to recognize our partners and the frontline witnesses, the millions of frontline witnesses with whom we share this recognition. From Gaza to Sudan to Nigeria, from Myanmar to Brazil, from here in the US to Ukraine, they are, you are, all of us should be land defenders, cop watchers, war crimes investigators, citizen journalists, and community media, and ordinary people caught in conflict who stand up for their rights. And they do it with great courage, great ingenuity, harnessing the power of video and technology to document what is wrong, to share their powerful stories of resilience, and to change the world for the better. Thank you, Peter Gabriel. You had the vision for how video could transform the fight for human rights long before we all had mobile phones in our pockets. I also want to thank all our long-standing supporters. You've stood by us over the years, you've walked with us as we've walked the path, and you make our work possible. Over the years, we've assisted communities to tell their stories and gather evidence through video, leading to the conviction of a warlord, victories in protecting indigenous lands, and trusted archives of war crimes footage that prepare us for that long arc of justice that does lead to justice. And we've provided critical guidance and resources that have enabled millions more people to shoot video that counts, to preserve it, and then to use those stories to create change. As the media technologies have evolved, so have we, always fighting to ensure they work for, not against, human rights. Now, this award comes at a really pivotal moment, when anything can be faked with deceptive AI, and anything real can be dismissed as possibly fake, including the critical stories we celebrate here tonight. I am proud that Witness is leading the fight at every level to prepare for that, not to panic, to fight for technology that matters, for policy that matters, and for tools in the hands of human rights defenders to defend the truth no matter what. To ensure that we can continue to trust in and act upon the evidence of our eyes and ears. That is so important. Thank you for acknowledging our work, the work of those millions of frontline witnesses the world over who take a stand for what they care about, and supporting the power of video to defend human rights and reinforce the truth.
Now, the incredible John Oliver has a magical way of tackling heavy topics and making them accessible. In his signature no-nonsense, don't-be-an-idiot way, John expertly gives us the facts, exposes hypocrisy, and delivers what we all deserve, the hard truth about the most serious of situations, even the war in Gaza. In one of his most notable 32-minute episodes, John Oliver shines. He delivers a thorough account of the political and social histories that shape the present climate in Israel and Palestine, while also emphasizing the importance of all civilian lives. Here he is in that episode of Last Week Tonight.
You should know, some hostages' families are also utterly furious at the military tactics that Netanyahu's employing right now.
They say that the only solution is to destroy, to flatten Gaza. They never mentioned the hostages, never.
Right, and you can see how infuriating that would be. And I know that for many Israelis, there is an understandable sense of fear and precarity right now amid the specter of Hamas attacks and rockets flying overhead. But it's worth also acknowledging the overwhelming sense of precarity among Palestinians living under a blockade and a barrage of Israeli rockets. And it has to be possible to feel the pain in one community without denying it in another.
From New York, here is John Oliver.
Peabodys, I'm so sorry that we can't be with you in LA tonight, but we have a show this evening, so we're here in New York instead, sadly missing out on our chance to meet all the incredible winners who are in that room with you tonight, from Bluey all the way to, I believe, Phil Williams, Nashville's nosiest bitch. But thank you so much for this award. I want to thank our staff for working so hard. I have to thank HBO, and I also want to thank whoever wrote the press release to announce these awards, because in the write-up for our show, which was very nice, it said we're ostensibly a comedy show. And look, ostensibly was already good enough, but to put scare quotes around the word comedy was truly next level. Never before have I felt as attacked while simultaneously being honoured, and I appreciate it so very much. So thank you again, congratulations to all the other winners, and have a great night. Goodbye.
John Oliver, ladies and gentlemen. When Ronald Gladden showed up for jury duty, he was told the process was being filmed for a documentary, so he didn't question why there were cameras following his every move, even when his fellow jurors, which included movie star James Marsden, thrust him into hilarious situations. Ronald remained mostly unfazed. Little did he know he was the subject of an improvised TV show. Instead of using this format to mock Ronald, the show remained upbeat and focused on the virtues of civic responsibility. Tonight, this series wins a Peabody Award for proving that reality shows can actually bring out the best in us, and that good citizenship is still an available and attainable and an attractive virtue. Welcome to Jury Duty. Accepting on behalf of Jury Duty is executive producer Nicholas Hatton.
On behalf of all the incredible crew and cast of this project who showed that with thoughtful work and the best intentions, you can do something that's never been done before, thank you to the Peabody Awards for the astonishing honor of recognizing Jury Duty. Thank you to the enduring support of Amazon and MGM Studios, Mike Hopkins, Jennifer Salke, Lauren Anderson, Christelle Miller, and all of their amazing teams, because it takes a village to raise in an entirely fake village. And this tremendous honor belongs to everyone that played their part in telling a story that is bigger than any one person. It was always our belief that, given the choice, more often than not, your everyday citizen will help rather than hurt, will lift up rather than push down, and that the light of common decency and kindness is carried by most people. Thank you to Ronald Gladden for proving us right in this instance, at least. Thank you.
The next winning series originated as a video game and is about a deadly infection that sweeps across the country. Showrunner Craig Mazin and the game's co-director Neil Druckmann expanded this post-apocalyptic world and added depth to its already rich characters and themes. We follow the lives of Joel and Ellie, played by Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey, who travel across the country and encounter infected creatures and humans who reveal the absolute best and worst of our nature. This tale of survival, loyalty, and the search for redemption sets a new high watermark for video game adaptations. This is The Last of Us.
I'm sorry about your daughter, Joel. But I have lost people too.
You have no idea what loss is.
Everybody I have cared for has either died or left me. Everybody fucking except for you! So don't tell me that I'd be safe with somebody else, because the truth is, I would just be more scared.
Accepting on behalf of The Last of Us is executive producer Carolyn Strauss.
Hopefully my beta blocker hasn't worn off. On behalf of all of us at The Last of Us, we want to thank the Peabodys for this tremendous honor. It's truly a special one. The Last of Us examines the double-edged sword of love and all the good and bad things we do in its name. Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann have created a world and characters that inspire all of us who work on this show to do our best work every day. We couldn't do it without the support of all of our friends at HBO, especially Casey Belois, Francesca Orsi, Chris Salvatierra, Tala Assad, and Katie Hayes, and all of the extraordinary people at HBO who work on this, our crew, and we thank the Peabodys so much for this tremendous honor.
She's an actress and model with TV series credits like Lincoln Lawyer, Ugly Betty, and Chicago Med, and starred as Whitney Houston in the TV movie Whitney. Please welcome Yaya DaCosta.
Good evening, everyone. As a part-time full-spectrum birth doula since 2010, maternal health is an issue very close to me. So it is my honor to present the Peabody Award to a documentary that addresses head-on the dire situation happening in the Mississippi Delta. This area has some of the highest maternal and infant mortality rates in the country. In a compelling episode of USA Today's States of America, Danielle Dreilinger, a journalist for The Tennessean, delves into the causes and possible solutions. By highlighting the struggles of overworked healthcare providers and the harrowing experiences of the patients, this documentary underscores the urgent need for systemic change in underserved communities. The post-Roe baby boom inside Mississippi's maternal health crisis shares the stories of mothers facing the most desperate situations.
Is the system equipped right now to handle more births a year?
I would have to say right now the system is not ready.
I think abortion is abortion, no matter how we're counseled to do that.
I had been diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. Doctors here couldn't treat me and me be pregnant.
Accepting on behalf of the post-Roe baby boom inside Mississippi's maternal health crisis is executive producer and writer Yasmin Qureshi.
It is an honor to be accepting this award among such a tremendous group of storytellers. Thank you to the Peabody jury and the Peabodys, and to USA Today and the Tennessean for creating a space to tell stories like these. In particular to Kristen Roberts, Russ Torres, Caroline Harris, Michael Anastasi, and Robert Padovic. To our amazing female production team, Mona Iskander and Andrea Kramer, and Danielle Dreilinger and Liz Schubauer of the Tennessean. To our editor, Mark Apicella, and our shooters, Corentin Suavenet and Sam Rosenthal. To the Economic Hardship Reporting Project for enabling us to spend extra time reporting this very important story. Maternal mortality in Mississippi is something that impacts Black women at 4 times the rate of white women. To the brave women who shared their deeply personal stories with us, and to the heroic doctors who work round the clock to protect them. This award is really for them. Thank you.
Imagine undergoing a nerve-wracking egg retrieval procedure as part of an IVF treatment and experiencing blinding pain, only to have such pain be ignored and roundly dismissed by medical professionals. That is the subject of a 5-part podcast series by Serial Productions and the New York Times that uncovers how a nurse deliberately stole 175 fentanyl-based painkillers intended for the patients and switched them out with saline solution. Host Susan Burton and producers Laura Starcheski and Julie Snyder dive deep into how our country often prioritizes an idealized view of motherhood over mothers' actual health needs. Here is riveting audio from the retrievals.
Drug-addicted former nurse is sentenced for a crime that caused unbearable pain to dozens of women. The nurse stole drugs and then replaced them with saline solution.
Connecticut nurse admits that she swapped out anesthesia drugs for salt water, causing excruciating pain to women during infertility treatments.
It happened at a top-rated center of Philly.
I know my outcomes were affected by this. I know what I experienced and went through.
But Yale wasn't going to help me.
They didn't think there was harm. They didn't think it was a problem.
Accepting on behalf of the Retrievals is creator and reporter Susan Burton.
Thank you so much to the Peabody jurors for this enormous honor. Many of the big questions in the Retrievals are about pain, including how was pain documented at this fertility clinic? Was there even a record of this pain? Let this be a record here, I say at the end of the series. This award ensures that that record won't get lost. Thank you so much to everybody who shared information, stories, and insights with me, and thank you to everyone up here who made this podcast with me. Laura Starcheski, Julie Snyder, Phoebe Wang, Ben Phelan, Caitlin Love, who's not here, and Carla Pallone for the beautiful, haunting soundtrack. Thank you.
She is an artistic, intellectual host of the podcast Small Doses and was nominated for an NAACP Image Award for the Peabody-nominated series Insecure. Please welcome Amanda Seales.
So since this award is for my island of Grenada, I figured I'd spice it up a little bit and do it in my mother's accent. Maurice Bishop, a revolutionary leader and politician who served as the Prime Minister of Grenada over 40 years ago, was executed in 1983, along with 3 cabinet members and 4 supporters. Their remains were never found. Our next Peabody winner delves into the mysterious disappearance of this controversial figure amid a U.S. invasion of the Caribbean nation. It features archival material and voices of family members and Grenadians who lived through the era, shedding light on the impact of American imperialism and Black liberation. Here is the podcast, The Empty Grave of Comrade Bishop.
Do you think it's accurate to say that Maurice Bishop was assassinated during a coup?
Yes, yes. It was a military coup. He was assassinated, cold-blooded. And not only him, there were a number of other ministers. Horrible mistakes that led to horrible crimes. And exactly 1 week later, October the 25th, the U.S. invaded. And as I say, the rest is history.
Accepting on behalf of The Empty Grave of Comrade Bishop is creator and reporter Martine Powers.
Not every journalist has the chance to investigate a story like this one, a 40-year-old mystery on a Caribbean island with revolutionaries and diplomats and scientists and U.S. Army Rangers and a group of very eager high school detectives. So we as a team feel so privileged to have been able to share this reporting. We want to thank the Peabody Awards for this honor. I also want to thank my parents for everything that they did to support this, including letting me record them secretly for the podcast and not getting mad about it afterward. And we want to thank our many sources who made this podcast possible, including Corporal Earl Brown. He's a former intelligence officer for the Jamaican military who is here tonight. We spent 2 years trying to track him down so he could share with us these words that I will remember forever. I know what I saw. We are so grateful to Corporal Brown and to the many other voices, and in particular, West Indian voices, who made this podcast possible. Thank you so much.
Big up Grenada. Okay. Our next winner takes us to the beautiful country of Uganda. African music superstar Bobi Wine first gained fame with songs highlighting the struggles of the underserved people in his country. He later entered politics, winning a seat in parliament and running for president, using his fame to challenge Yoweri Museveni's long-standing government. Christopher Sharp and Moses Bwayo's documentary highlights Bobi Wine's dedication to a renewed Uganda, the danger he faced for opposing the regime, and the powerful music that inspired his supporters. Here's a look at Bobi Wine, the people's president. Accepting on behalf of Bobi Wine, the people's president, is co-director Moses Bwayo.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. It is the power of God that I stand before you here tonight to accept this great honor from the Peabody Committee. In the world that we live in today, we are reimagining what is democracy. There is an ever more need to highlight stories that matter, stories that comment on how we are governed. It is a great honor and privilege to be here amongst this year's winners in the documentary section. A huge thanks to the Peabody jury and to my fellow nominees with whom I share this madness of telling stories, many of whose works I greatly admire. It's an honor to be amongst you. A huge thanks to National Geographic, to Southern Films, to Ventureland, to Quiet, to Christopher Sharp, my co-director and producer John Botsek, to Caroline Bernstein from National Geographic, Chris Albert, Courtney Monroe, to Tim Hosberg here from National Geographic. Thank you so much. All of who have made this possible to be here tonight. And of course, my family, my wife Nulu, who have supported me through this process. Ladies and gentlemen, democracy is such a fragile system. We need to protect our democracies. In Uganda, it has been an uphill battle to get a democracy. Our country got independence in 1962. Until today, we've never had a democracy. Protect your democracies. Protect that system. Thank you.
He's a James Beard award-winning chef, founder of Pizzeria Bianco, and one of the acclaimed chefs featured in the Netflix documentary series Chef's Table. Please welcome Chris Bianco.
Well, picture it, a young chef, trained in the finest restaurants, a struggling sandwich shop. What could go wrong? The answer is literally everything. Our next honoree gives me anxiety, hunger pains, and at the same time, in this acclaimed series, we follow a chef named Carmi, played by the incredible Jeremy Allen White, who must return to Chicago to take over his late brother's family business, but has dreams of renovating it into a fine dining hotspot. Good luck with that, buddy. This show has a way of shocking you into the chaos of the restaurant ownership and spitting out into the harsh realities of small business. People ask me if the show is realistic, and I have to say it gets a little bit too close, but this is the bear.
How's my budget looking?
Great.
Not good.
Shitty. All right, fuck this. Watch. The bear, all right?
right? It's got the windows, the demo, the brick, that's 50K, plus 20K, that is 70K, that's not bad.
80K.
Really?
And you have to pay us, Jeffrey.
She's right about that, Jefferson. I know, I'm aware, and I've set that aside.
We need more money.
We need a project manager.
Okay, you're hired.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
Sid.
Nat.
Accepting on the behalf of the Bear is producer Tyson Bidner.
Thank you so much for this prestigious honor. George Peabody once said, "Our task is not to bring order out of chaos, but to get work done in the midst of chaos." George would have appreciated The Bear. A show created and brought to life by Chris Storer that attempts to highlight what work getting done in the middle of chaos feels like. I'm grateful that the chaos that you view on the screen behind the scene is only behind the scenes. Along with my producing partners, Josh, Coop, Joanna, Maddie, and Coco, we strive to keep the drama on the screen. There would be no Bear without the support of John Landgraf, Eric Schreier, and everyone, Dana Waldron, and everyone at FX, Hulu, Disney, that worked tirelessly behind the scenes to make this show. Chris Storer's leadership and vision has guided this remarkable cast, beautiful cast. And a great crew, and because of him, we're celebrating The Bear tonight. To our beautiful crew in Chicago who have been with us since the pilot, we dedicate this to you as well. It has not been an easy year for the crew with work stoppages and strikes, so thank you. Thank you to the crew, and I also want to thank all of our loved ones who have remained by our sides while we come home late. We miss special events, and at times we put our work first while we are tracing these crazy dreams of ours. So thank you very much, and thank you to the University of Georgia.
Hi. We live in divisive times. I feel like we've been here a long time, right? It's been like a long time. And so I'm just gonna, well, I have nice things to say. So let's go forward a little bit. This is taking longer than just me. Stop it. Okay, so I was talking about Star Wars and Star Trek and how there's a rivalry. Which one's better? Watch this. Which one's better? Yet one man has successfully become integral to both of these space adventure franchises. He has produced 3 Star Trek films and directed 2 Star Trek films, and he has produced and directed 2 Star Wars films. To present the Institutional Peabody Award to Star Trek, here is J.J. Abrams.
Thank you. Hi there. What an honor it is to be here tonight to present the Institutional Award to Star Trek, Gene Roddenberry's futuristic but timeless creation, which has spawned 13 films, 11 TV series, hundreds of books and comics, and a ravenous, passionate fan base. The themes and ideas found in Mr. Roddenberry's world are many, but at its core, Star Trek celebrates the very best of humanity and how moral, ethical, existential challenges can be overcome with the unlikeliest of bedfellows. In 1966, Star Trek shattered conventional thinking by featuring a diverse crew with wildly different backgrounds: a Vulcan first officer, a female African-American communications officer, a Japanese helmsman, and at the height of the Cold War, a Russian navigator. In Next Generation, the USS Enterprise D had a Klingon officer, a Betazoid counselor, and an android. But perhaps the strangest meeting of Star Trek co-conspirators occurred off-camera. When we began work on our 2009 Trek film, we met with the gracious, thoughtful, artful, endlessly decent Leonard Nimoy, who told us that while filming the original series, the studio was so preoccupied with saving money that even if they were in the middle of filming a scene, all the lights would be shut off at 6 o'clock sharp. No exceptions. One day, Mr. Nimoy and his Captain Kirk, William Shatner, were sitting at lunch at the commissary in costume when the head of the studio approached and sat at their table, the co-founder of Desilu Studios, Lucille Ball. And she had come over to Lucille Ball, ladies and gentlemen. That is what I'm talking about. She had come over to apologize to the two actors for the studio's strict but necessary penny pinching. I tell this story not only because the image of Kirk, Spock, and Lucy sharing a table is utterly badass, but because while the vision and heart of the series was, of course, Roddenberry's, Lucy was the one who bought the pitch, whose commitment to the series, despite monetary challenges, allows us to celebrate Star Trek today. She never seems to get enough credit for that. This award honors institutions, organizations, and individuals for their outstanding and long-lasting contributions to our culture. I can't tell you what a privilege it has been to be a small part of this undeniable phenomenon. I fell in love with Star Trek working on the films. The series focused on exploration and discovery, diversity and inclusion, peace and diplomacy, ethics and morality, scientific curiosity, social commentary, unity, cooperation, courage, and sacrifice.
I'm receiving a signal.
For its dedication to storytelling that projects the best of humanity far into the future, it is my great honor to present the Peabody Institutional Award to Star Trek. Accepting on behalf of Star Trek is my friend, colleague, executive producer, Mr. Alex Kurtzman.
JJ, thank you. Thank you. First, a deeply felt thank you to our friends at CBS Studios and Paramount Plus for their support over these last 8 years, and to the Peabody Committee for this extraordinary honor. The Peabodys and the Institutional Award represent a standard of excellence that we will forever strive to meet. Star Trek was born in the mind of Gene Roddenberry, but you could argue it was raised by an incredible woman, Betty Joanne Trimble, better known as Bijo. Bijo wasn't just a fan, but also a science fiction writer at a time when being a woman in sci-fi was almost unheard of. In 1968, she and her husband John launched an unprecedented letter-writing campaign to save Star Trek after it was canceled in its second season, and it worked. They are the reason it's still here today, and I am very happy to tell you that she is here with us tonight for an appropriate full circle moment. But Bijo and John didn't just save a TV show. They built a family that's grown and expanded across the planet for almost 60 years. Everyone up here is part of the Trek family. Like Bijo, we, all of us, actors, writers, directors, executives, fans have become custodians of this incredible world of stories, a world that is so much bigger than any one of us, but keeps growing stronger because of all of us. And it is our job as custodians to pass these stories along to the storytellers who will follow us, and they to the ones who follow them, by protecting the ideal that Star Trek reminds us to carry out into the world. Hope that wherever in the universe you may live, there is a seat at the Star Trek table. Hope that our better angels will lead us across the frontiers of space and of ourselves with honesty, dignity, and respect. Hope that we remember, no matter how alien the alien, we are all made of the same stardust. We believe that is what the Peabodys are really here to honor today, a future that we all discover together. Live long and prosper.
Star Trek, everybody. My God. Wow. One last thing. The worst part about all of it is that my parents, the day before the match, decided to support USA. And they called me to gloat, and they were like, "We won, you lost." There's no me, you made me. My dad was so happy he was crying. I have good news for you guys. We're at the end of our show. I want to thank you guys for coming. Congratulations to all of the winners. As we say in cricket, we hit it for a 6. Google that when you get home. On behalf of Peabody, thank you, good night, and get home safe. Thank you.